Congrats on the victory. I noticed that you went to the three-man back line when Connor went out. What went into that decision? Why didn't you put Hassan in or any other defenders?
We were playing three-man in the back the whole time. So when we took Connor out, we just we used Alex that way against New England. So we decided to use it that way again. You know, we're hopeful that Connor's injury isn't a big one, and hopefully that you know, he'll still be available for Saturday. We'll see. I think we're trying to evaluate if it's cramping or a little bit of a pull. So we'll see.
Over here to Brian. I'm sorry, I'm usually so loud. I don't need it. Was this as comprehensive a performance as you've had in a while? And secondly, I know you never want to disrespect any opponents, but looking at the three-game slate that you have here against these three teams in a week and a half, is this a good opportunity for you to solidify and get back in the playoff picture?
Well, I think in general, yeah, in terms of a comprehensive performance, yeah, I mean it was good. I feel like the game was in grasp. Now they're dangerous on counters a couple times, so it could have been tied at some point, but. You know, I think it was very good, and we're moving in the right direction. But I still believe there's plenty of room for improvement. And you know, we've been in a good way. We've had some results now pile up for us. We've rotated the formation a little bit, and we think it gets the best out of a lot of guys. But you know, you always have to be careful that you always continue to make sure that we have our minds in the right place and that we don't get too far ahead of ourselves. So, and that would lead to the other part, which is it's one game at a time. It's one day at a time. And so, you know, Minnesota's still not been easy to beat at home in the last couple months. And, you know, we'll have to go on turf. It'll be a hot day. It'll challenge us in a lot of different ways. But I think we have 3 results on the road in the row now. So we have more confidence when we go on the road, and we have to go there and now come up with a game plan and a team that's new and we don't know that well, and make sure that we're organized and ready to go after that game.
Go Christian and then Joe.
I know Sasha will probably say it wasn't one of his best performances, but now, given the fact that he scored in the Open Cup against Philadelphia, a goal and an assist tonight, do you begin to see some flashes of the guy who was an MVP finalist last year?
Yeah, I think, you know, when I say we get the best out of a lot of guys, it gets the best out of Sasha. It gives him a little bit more room to roam as we're making passes through the midfield. It's not so easy for 1-6 just to keep track of them like teams have often done with us. So if they don't rotate and they stay on Sasha, then that leaves room for Sean and Danny to find little gaps. And if they do rotate, then Sasha can find little holes, and then, you know, obviously our team is very good when we get him facing goal with guys running in front of him. Yeah, so I think that the overall balance in the midfield has been quite good. Now, I think we can use Sasha a little bit more to the right, a little bit more to the left, still deeper and sometimes. I mean, we haven't used him as a ghost 9, but I think we can do that sometimes. So there's still, when I say flexibility, there's flexibility. You know, we're putting guys in positions to play to their strengths, and I think we can do that by rotating a lot of different things. So it's now a challenge, I think, to get on the field, because when we don't even have all our guys here yet, and once we get all the guys back, once we make a few additions, then all of a sudden, you know, we feel like there'll be a lot of options to choose from.
You know, you mentioned the rest of the team is really stepping up and putting in better performances. What's changed over the last month that has started to see the team click?
Well, you know, I mean, we've stuck to it. We've had to grind through moments. We've had to feel the sense of failure for large portions of the season, but we've all stuck together and made sure that we know that this is what this is about, and that we knew we'd come out on the other end, but you have to stay after it every day. You have to stay committed every day and find ways to get better. So, you know, that along with the formation change, I think has ignited our group. So every guy deserves credit. I mean, my staff has worked really hard. The players, all of them, have put a lot into this. They haven't backed down. They haven't put their heads down. They haven't complained or pointed fingers. They've all stayed on the task, and that's been the case as long as I've been here. We have a great group of young men, and so it's just about trying to help them understand how to grow every day.
Brian and then Carlos.
How good does it feel to finally get back over 500 since the first time today?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yes, I think, when we were playing him deeper as a 6, it puts more responsibility on him to defend in deeper moments and kind of read the game in certain times. And now how we're using him, it's more like that he can run at plays, that he can recover, that he can now play to his strengths a little bit more. And so I think that that's been good for him. It's given him confidence. And I think we're only going to see Sean get better, So it's also been interesting that we've tilted Tyler out right a little bit more and seen him do a really good job of locking down the wing and finding ways to win his battles against his matchup. And I still think Tyler will be a great option when he plays in the middle. So, and look, Sean could play center back, and Sean could play on the right or left as well. So there's still lots of options there, which is, again, as a coach, you start to feel like we can really start to put guys out there to succeed. The 500 part, I try not to look at the table too much. I know we're above the red line now. I did see the other results, but we try to stay focused on what we're doing, knowing that if we take care of things, that the table takes care of itself. I haven't sweat the fact that we've been out of the playoffs. There's plenty of season left, right? I mean, so what's been more important is the daily work.
Coach, right here.
Yeah.
Congrats on a real good win.
Thank you.
It seems every time you insert Gonzalo, it turns out to be a good move, a positive one. Any chance he can get more minutes in the games coming up?
Yeah. I mean, I think he is a potential option to start in this game. The key with Gonzalo, I think, is always getting him fit and healthy. And when he does, then you can see that he can bring certain things. You could see that it was a game that Gonzalo was going to be successful in. So, I was trying to get the balance right of how long to leave Brad in and then, when to make the change. Now, maybe we can find a way to play Gonzalo in one of the spots underneath and still use Brad up high and find ways to use both of them together. Obviously then it makes us very potent. So, yeah, Gonzalo's done well. And it's good to see him in good form.
Got 2 more guys. We'll go Brian and then Dan.
Is playing 3 in the back, is that a concession to not having Taxi, who might be your best player this year, and Murillo? So when they come back, would you be more inclined to go back to 4 in the back, or do you see those guys as guys that are prototypical, almost like wingbacks in like a 3-5-2 or a 3-6-1 that could just run all day?
Those guys, Kamar, I think, can play on left center back. He could play left midfield, left back. He can play in the 4 or the 5. We have confidence in this right now, and we've also played teams lately that enjoy crosses, that's one of the main ways that they create chances. So when we play with 3, it means we're able to push those outside backs out to the line more. And it also has mean that we can rotate things with the midfield. But, Amir, I think, can do the same. He could play right center back or he could play the right back position. So, it's going to be interesting. If we continue to play this way, there'll be options. We'll really be able to look at matchups. We'll really be able to think about how to put guys out there to succeed.
Can you give us an update on Tyler Adams? It looked like he pulled something.
Yeah.
Was he cramping?
It was cramping, and it was the goal I take responsibility for, because I knew he was cramping. He told me he was fine, but I could see he wasn't, and I should have switched him and Derek earlier, and then it put him in a 1v1 situation where he couldn't really explode, and it cost us a goal. So I was really upset with myself on that, but he'll be fine. He'll be fine. He's how old is he? 14. Yeah.
Thanks,
Okay.
Jesse.
Thank you.